You would think terrible would be the enemy to greatness. The same way good is the enemy to bad, right? But in fact, good is the enemy to greatness. Because you can become so good at something. I mean, you could be just good enough that you never choose greatness. There was a guy one time who was the director of communications at a corporation who had a lifelong passion of wanting to become a world-renowned speaker. So one day he went to his boss and he said to his boss, I'm going to put in my 2 weeks notice because I want to pursue my passion of always becoming a world-renowned speaker. Boss looks at him and says, I never knew you had that passion. He says, but I tell you what, if we'll give you a pay raise of $50,000, will you reconsider? Guy stares back at his boss for a moment, thinks it over. And he says, nah, I made a commitment to myself that I was going to become a world-renowned speaker. I'm going to stick to what it is I said I'm going to do. Boss leaves out the room for a moment, comes back in, sits back down. He says, I tell you what if we'll give you a pay raise of $100,000? Well, then you reconsider. Guy stares back at his boss for a second, starts thinking for a little bit longer, but then finally says to himself, nah, I said that I was going to stick to a promise that I made to myself of pursuing my passion of becoming a world-renowned speaker. I'm going to stick to what it is I said I'm going to do. Boss leaves back out the room, comes back in a moment later, sits back down and says, I tell you what if we'll give you a pay raise of $150,000? Well, then you reconsider. Now the guy's really thinking, right? He's thinking about all the check boxes in his head, the things he couldn't do, the vacations he hadn't taken with the family, the renovations he could do with the home, the cars that he could buy. And after mulling over it for quite some time, the guy finally comes back to his senses and said, nope, I said that I was going to pursue my passion of becoming a world-renowned speaker. I'm going to stick to what it is I said I'm going to do. You know, I told you at some point in time in the past that a salary is what a paycheck that your job will give you to make you forget about your goals and dreams. But it's two things to take away from this conversation. Number one, if somebody's willing to pay you $150,000 more for something you already do, nobody will never really pay you what you're really worth. And number two, you can become so good at something that you never become great. Growth therapy. Class is in session.